As a result of the Iranian attack on U.S. and allied troops in Iraq in retaliation for a U.S. strike that killed Iran's top general. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo continues to defend the rationale behind that attack.
We had specific information on an imminent threat, and those threat stream included attacks on U.S. embassies. Period. Full stop.
But some members of Congress are still questioning whether the attack was truly imminent. Meanwhile, Iranians say sanctions will not bring them to the table.
Either you want to have a dialogue or either you want to apply sanctions.
And to add to the escalating tensions, new details on the plane crash in Iran that killed 176 people aboard a Ukrainian plane.
We do believe that it's likely that that plane was shot down by an Iranian missile. When we get the results of that investigation, I am confident we and the world will take appropriate actions in response.
Iran denies the claims and says they're inviting international partners, including the U.S., into the investigation. Ukraine reportedly now has access to the black boxes that records data from that flight and voices from the cockpit. An Iran news agency said the boxes will be open today, but the process of downloading the information could take up to 2 months.
Well, several firefighters among 5 people injured when a fire broke out in Hell's Kitchen. It happened this morning, and you're looking at video from Citizen App showing fire trucks surrounding the apartment building near 9th Avenue and West 46th Street. FDNY saying at least 4 firefighters and 1 civilian were hurt. At this point, the cause of the fire is still under investigation.
We told you yesterday about nearly 300 new subway cars being pulled from service. Well, tonight the MTA is saying they will not be put back into use until each and every one is inspected and repaired. The measure comes after 2 incidents involving the new cars where the doors opened about 4 inches, triggering the brakes. It happened on a southbound C train in Brooklyn. The MTA says the problems are systematic and the new software update needs to be installed. Until then, the older subway car models will be used.
Well, musicians and fans are mourning the loss of legendary musician Neil Peart.
Yeah, we're just learning the drummer from the band Rush died this week. Peart, part of the rock trio for more than 4 decades. Besides the elaborate percussion, he also wrote the lyrics for some of the band's best-known songs.
A representative for the group confirming he died on Tuesday in Santa Monica after a 3-year battle with brain cancer. The 67-year-old, widely considered one of the most influential drummers of all time.
Well, still ahead, a proposal to ban cell phones for anyone under the age of 21.
Yeah, we're talking about that one tonight. And then there's this, a New Jersey mom shocked and disgusted. She ordered diapers from Amazon, and when she opened the box, she says they were used.
Oh, man. Then there's this, a medical mystery. One family trying to figure out how a healthy teenage girl is suddenly paralyzed. And now we have some answers ahead.
You're watching the Pix 11 News at 5 with Tamsin Fidel, Corey Chambers, and Mr. G with your weather. We're New York's very own.
Well, it has been a week of new developments and arrests nearly 8 months after the disappearance of Connecticut mom Jennifer Dulos. And the case also shedding some light on domestic violence concerns.
Yeah, now one Connecticut lawmaker is calling for change. Pix 11's Ayana Harry joining us now with the details. Ayana.
Good evening. Jennifer Dulos and her children, they lived in a close-knit Connecticut community. So after prosecutors charged her husband with murder, friends, neighbors, even lawmakers wondered, were there warning signs we all missed? And if so, how do we make sure that never happens again?
Jennifer Dulos was my constituent.
New tonight, the disappearance of Jennifer Farber Dulos could lead to a change in Connecticut state law, shining a light on domestic violence in parental custody cases.
There's an opportunity for Connecticut to sort of catch up and be at the forefront of the reforms.
For 2 years, Jennifer and Fotis Dulos were locked in a nasty divorce. Jennifer told the court her husband was verbally abusive and she feared for her life. After Fotis Dulos was arrested for her murder this week, Connecticut State Senator Alec Bergstein declared it was time for change.
We stand here today seeking justice for Jennifer.
Bergstein is introducing the Child Safety First bill to change how judges handle custody cases.
Family violence and abuse must be considered before other factors in custody cases. And courts must rely only on experts trained in abuse and trauma to make their determinations.
Earlier this week, as state police announced the latest criminal charges against Fotis Dulos,
murder, felony murder, and kidnapping.
Officers involved in his arrest wore purple neckties and purple ribbons, a sign of domestic violence awareness. At a press conference organized by friends of Jennifer Dulos this morning, State Senator Bergstein said too many warning signs around that volatile divorce were missed.
These cases are often the result of abusers weaponizing the legal system to harass, intimidate, and destroy the person who dared to leave.
The Dulos case could lead to even more proposed legislation. Connecticut Senator Bergstein also questioned why the standard for obtaining a restraining order in Connecticut is so high. Tamsin?
All right, Ayanna, thank you so much. Well, day 5 of the Harvey Weinstein rape trial halted by a heated exchange between the judge and one of the lawyers. An attorney filed a motion asking for jurors to be interviewed in private so they are as honest as they can be. The judge says he would read the motion over the weekend and then rule on it. Jury selection continued today with 108 new potential jurors. Only 30 to 40 of them moved on, many saying they couldn't be fair and impartial toward Weinstein. Outside the courthouse today, a flash mob dancing and chanting in Spanish to protest against Weinstein. They chanted, "The rapist is you."
Well, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi now says that she will send the articles of impeachment against President Trump to the Senate next week. That's despite her concerns about how the trial will be conducted. Pelosi had been holding out on advancing the articles until both parties agreed on rules for the proceedings. However, GOP Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has refused to negotiate. Pelosi says next week the House will appoint representatives who will present the case in the Senate, paving the way for the trial to begin.
Well, if you thought the Bridgegate scandal was over, you were mistaken. The U.S. Supreme Court will hear arguments next week on whether or not to throw out fraud and conspiracy convictions against 2 aides to former Governor Chris Christie. The court will decide if prosecutors applied the law incorrectly against former Chief of Staff Bridget Kelly and Bill Baroni, a Port Authority appointee. The question at hand is whether Baroni's position gave him the ability to reduce the number of traffic lanes, and could that be considered a federal crime? The court's decision expected in the spring.
Well, tens of thousands of activists marched in major cities across Australia today. They're calling on the government to do more to stop devastating wildfires that are ravaging that country. The protests come as a pair of massive bushfires in southeastern Australia have actually merged into one mega fire, measuring nearly 1.5 million acres. It's just one of about 135 fires that have claimed the lives of 27 people. More than 17 million acres have been scorched so far, and an estimated billion animals have died. Heat and strong winds are expected to worsen conditions for crews battling those flames.
That is just incredible when you think about that. 1 billion animals
Yeah,
and how this continues
shocking.
to spread.
Yeah.
All right. I guess if I remember correctly, maybe it's 20 degrees warmer than it was yesterday at this time. Is that right, Mr. G?
Well, you got it right. Last month, December, started out cold, ended up warm. This month is starting out warm. I think it's going to end up cold, but talk about warm, 63 and 66. Those are the record highs. And again, I think we have a shot at breaking it, especially on Sunday, but it could happen both days. 54, humidity 64, south and west at 10 miles per hour. We are 6.1 degrees above normal for the month. That's a chunk. And you could see again with temperatures near 60 degrees, we're going to bring that up a little bit and do the same on Sunday as well. A couple of scattered showers north of the city. Don't have to worry about that. But there's a lot of action, man. You've got tornado watches. You've got snow. That watch in effect until 6 p.m. You can see it across portions of Missouri and getting into Oklahoma. You got winter storm warnings, flood warnings, wind advisory. Mother Nature threw the whole sink into the Midwest, and you pick it out. 2 to 3 inches of rain, you want a foot of snow, you got that. We maxed out again with the tornado watch, and you can see hefty rains here covering 7 states. So the leading edge of the cold front's on the move, but it's going to take a while to get here. Look at the spread between Minneapolis and Chicago, and watch out temperatures here. 62 degrees, you like that? How about 66? Somebody hit 70 degrees just west and south of the city. I'll just whisper that, okay? And here you go. The rain gets going, but not on Saturday. Gets in here on Saturday night, especially Sunday early, and then we'll try and cool it down, but that'll happen Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Not cold, but cool it down. 50 and 44 degrees. You like it warm, you've got it warm. You want April and January, you got that as well. 63, 66, 7-day forecast. We'll have it later on.
All right, G. Well, Vermont lawmakers are proposing a ban on cell phones for anyone under the age of 21. The state senator behind the proposal doesn't expect this thing to actually pass or go anywhere. He says he's just trying to start a conversation about the risks of cell phone use among young people. The lawmaker says research linking smartphones to distracted driving and bullying suggests the devices can be harmful. And since people under 21 are not allowed to buy guns or alcohol, a discussion about the impact of cell phones is not, in his words, unreasonable.
Well, Magic is coming to Manhattan.
Yeah, the first official Harry Potter flagship store set to open up this summer.
Yeah, witches, wizards expected to flock to the Flatiron District, where the 3-story shop opens on Broadway. But some muggles, they're not fully on board.
Yeah, the Wall Street Journal reports that the local landmarks committee unanimously voted against changing the building's exterior, which included a fiberglass dragon. The full board votes next week. Long Island students celebrated one of their own today. She just graduated from the NASA space program, and she could be the first woman on Mars. Her inspiring story is ahead.
And it looks like a Whole Foods, but this place is for the dogs, and it's the first of its kind in New York City. We're checking out these fresh eats for dogs when we come back. Last year, U.S. pet owners spent nearly $33 billion to feed their loved ones, and now Just Food for Dogs is disrupting the market with its fresh approach.
Yeah, it opened up a kitchen in Union Square that caters to our four-legged friends. Marisol Castro paid them a visit.
Sit. Aw, for that. And you, mister? This is exhausting.
It's time for breakfast, and these pooches are ready. Once down, they gobble it up. This isn't just any dog food. This is Just Food for Dogs, and apparently it's really good. The company just opened a 1,500 square foot kitchen in Union Square. They'll be making 2,000 pounds of fresh food for pets every day.
The idea is that it's the same quality food that you and I eat.
Which blows my mind, because as I was looking at this, I'm going to call him a chef. I have no idea if he's a dog chef, but I'm going to call him a dog chef. He's chopping vegetables the way I would for my own children.
Co-founder and veterinarian Dr. Oscar Chavez says it's not gourmet, it's just food that's healthier.
It's just like us, right? We know that healthier food's going to keep us healthy, and now scientific research is backing that up.
What are some of the things that pet owners can expect when they are diving into a Just Food for Dogs container?
Usually within days to weeks, they report a personality change.
Really?
Yeah,
just by their diet?
It's very common for us to hear we got our puppy back.
There are dozens of varieties of food, and you can buy them fresh or frozen. Sweet potatoes, carrots, apples, cauliflower, and beef, all mixed right on site.
I may actually try this because it actually does. It looks like human food. It is human food.
I'll try it with you.
Okay, good.
Let's do it together.
Let's try it.
There you go.
Thank you.
The dog that chases its tail will be busy.
Spicy.
Rhythmic dog.
Dogs have stronger teeth than humans. But this is delicious.
It is good.
Allie brought in Jelly Bean for his first bite too. But first, let's talk about this twinning thing, shall we?
Where does your lineage and his lineage cross?
We look very much alike, so we're not sure. But we've been told, yeah, we're twins, essentially.
And what's good for Jelly Bean is good for his mama, too.
It's really good.
Like something you would eat yourself?
Absolutely, I would eat this. Hey, Giles.
Well, at least they'll both have shiny coats.
I love it. You know I love it.
I know. Well, it's
don't
great.
Say anything.
It's fantastic. No, it is great.
Yeah.
The dog's eating better than I am, but it's fantastic. It's great.
Look how healthy. They have new attitudes, feel better, they're shiny coats.
Wow. I think it's fantastic.
I'm all for it. Matt's gonna love it.
All right, let's talk about the price. It's estimated that if you have a 70-pound dog, your average about $5 a day.
Yeah, and if you have a smaller dog, the less you're actually going to pay. And if you can't make it to the Union Square location, you can also order the food online. We'll link you up, pix11.com. Want me to get you some?
You know what?
We'll try it.
I'll try
We'll
it.
try it.
I will absolutely try it. All right. The hiring of the Giants' new head coach is raising questions about diversity in the NFL. Did the organization ignore its own rules?
Yeah, we're going to be talking about that coming up. Plus, a medical mystery. A family looking for answers after their healthy teenage girl is suddenly paralyzed.
And discussing discovery, a New Jersey mom orders a box of diapers from Amazon. Says she got much more than that.
You're watching the Pix 11 News at 5.
An Amazon delivery turned into a, nightmare for one New Jersey family. They ordered diapers in bulk, as many parents usually do. But what they received, it blindsided them. Thanks so much for staying with us. I'm Corey Chambers.
And I'm Tamsin Fidel. Well, the mother tells Pix 11 that the diapers were used. Now the family wants answers from Amazon.
That family exclusively speaking with Pix 7's Andrew Ramos.
I was extremely fearful because I did not know exactly what was in those diapers.
It's a mystery that has rattled Nestle Sales and her family. The Jersey City mom had ordered 2 boxes of diapers from Amazon, as she does every month, for her 2 daughters. Purchasing the items from the site's Amazon warehouse section, where open box and returned items are sold at a discount rate. When they arrived this week, she says nothing could have prepared her for what she says she found inside, just as she was about to change her daughter.
I picked up the diapers and it was a little bit heavy. I was half asleep, the lights were off. At that point I turned on the light and that's when I noticed these diapers are neatly folded and they are soiled. I couldn't believe it.
The shocking discovery prompted the mom to immediately disinfect her nursery, even wiping down her 19-month-old daughter with rubbing alcohol, as the child, who is immune compromised, was just inches away from what she believes was a health hazard. Later, speaking to an Amazon customer service rep didn't exactly put the family at ease.
They were like, okay, yeah, we are very sorry for your inconvenience. We'll give you a refund. You're happy to keep the stuff. No need to return it. And my thought was, wow, you are not understanding what I'm saying.
While the family has not officially sent the substance to be tested, they say it bears a strong resemblance and odor to fecal material. What they want now, a better explanation from Amazon about the mishap.
Please, I don't want any other families to have to go through this again.
Now, according to its website, Amazon inspects and certifies every open box product before reselling it. It's a process the family says obviously did not happen in this case. Now, we reached out to Amazon for comment on this story. In a statement, a spokesperson said, "We are investigating the situation and in contact with the customer to make it right." Live in the newsroom, I'm Andrew Ramos, Pix 11 News.
All right, we have breaking news in Queens tonight. 2 infants found unresponsive in a hotel. They have died.
They were taken from the Landing Hotel in East Elmhurst. Pix 7's McGee Hickey is live in East Elmhurst with the story tonight. McGee.
Such a tragedy here at the Landing Hotel in East Elmhurst on Ditmars Boulevard. You can see a police car behind me. Several crews here trying to piece together what happened. A call came in that 2 infants, aged 2 months of age, a boy and a girl, we believe they were twins, were found unresponsive and unconscious in the hotel. They were both rushed to Elmhurst Hospital. They were both in cardiac arrest. They were pronounced deceased at the hospital. It is now up to the medical examiner to determine the exact cause of death. We heard from one eyewitness, Joseph Smith, who described just a heartbreaking scene of seeing the father with the 2 children talking to police here and trying to explain what happened. We are awaiting further word from what exactly happened from the medical examiner, but now, in his own words, we will hear from the eyewitness, Joseph Smith.
I witnessed 2 babies being pulled out. First it was the father, I believe. I'm not too sure. Took a quick glance of him. Very traumatic to see them come out. The baby was unresponsive. They was different color, blue. The father, I didn't see no remorse in his heart for what was going on.
And again, that was an eyewitness, Joseph Smith, describing when he saw the babies brought out, and he saw a man he believed was the father, but he's not sure it was the father. And he described what he saw, just a heartbreaking situation. 2 infants, 2 months of age, dead here at Landing Hotel. We are live in East Elmhurst, Queens. McGee Hickey, Pix 11 News. Back to you, Tamsin and Corey.
McGee, thank you so much. I know we're going to continue to check back in with McGee and see exactly what's going on. But there's a heartbreaking, tragic story. Yeah, no question about it. All right, let's keep you updated here on the weather. Mr. G.
All right, 54 degrees right now. We're on the way up tonight, believe it or not, and we're going to climb right throughout the day tomorrow into Sunday as well. The winds have pinwheel around to the south and west. That's going to do the trick. The moisture is well to the north. You've heard about record-breaking temperatures. The day should be foggy and misty, kind of damp and gray. That's your Saturday. When we get showers Sunday early, then we'll break out to some brightening. But this is very strong stuff on southerly breezes. Snow on the backside. It will be a wicked, wicked day in terms of the sun breaking out and possible record-breaking temperatures. All right, when does this all change? 7-day, we'll have it later on.
All right, G, thank you. We'll see you then. Well, a 6-year-old Ohio boy is back in school after a courageous battle against cancer. Look at him there. John Oliver Zepay, also known as J.O., made quite the entrance this week after undergoing his final round of chemotherapy. He was diagnosed with leukemia 3 years ago and spent 18 days in the hospital, then had years of chemo. Well, there were tears, there were hugs at the school upon his return. The staff even preparing a highlight montage about his battle against cancer. His treatment prevented him from doing a lot of physical activity, which of course kept him out of a gym class, but now he's looking forward to a normal life.
You know, you want that for your child to grow up and get dirty and play outside and have fun, and we've kept him in a bubble, so we're excited. We're looking forward to the future and having our little boy back.
Oh, that is great to see. Well, J.O.'s principal says despite his treatment and a lack of physical activity, he did really well in the rest of his studies.
Well, still ahead tonight, some of New York's best and brightest go head to head in one of the most competitive high schools in the country.
Plus, questions about diversity in the NFL after the Giants hire a new head coach.
The students on Long Island learning from a local hero, the Long Island woman who could soon become the first woman on Mars.
Fifth grade students on Long Island helped celebrate the graduation of one of their own to the NASA space program today.
Yeah, Jasmine Maubelli is one of 11 new astronauts that was introduced today in Texas. Back home on Long Island, where she went to elementary school, dozens of kids got an up-close introduction to a local hero.
Yeah, video journalist Keith Lopez has the inspiring story tonight.
We're from Lennox. We couldn't be any prouder. And if you can't hear us, go shout a little louder. Go Jasmine!
We are here today to celebrate Jasmine Maubelli graduating from NASA. If you're excited, I want to hear some rumble in those feet. She's a role model for every single young person in Baldwin. To have a local person be so successful and to be an astronaut, right? We call her our Baldwinout.
Ladies and gentlemen, your newest astronaut, Jasmine Maubelli.
That's important because it really tells every young person in our community that anything is possible.
It's almost like Jasmine has been whispering to us over the years, even though she's not physically here, and her inspiration is palpable.
Hello, it's so exciting to be talking to you all, where it all started for me back at Lennox. How's everyone doing?
We are very lucky and very blessed that NASA has authorized our young people to ask her questions directly.
What was one of the greatest challenges that you faced in your career?
Those dreams, whatever that little dream in their 10-year-old heart is and mind, I can do it.
If you can say one message to inspire our graduating 5th grade class, what would you say?
It is definitely a goal of children to think big and to have somebody that may have grown up on your street that is actually an astronaut is just beyond anything we could possibly have imagined.
I want to be a basketball player, so I'm going to reach for my dreams and keep practicing. No matter how small you start from, you have to keep on growing up and rising to the top like a balloon. This ceremony is making me want to be an astronaut.
I absolutely 100% will come back.
As a teacher, our passion is to just let them figure out what they want and give them the grounds and the mindset and the skills to achieve that dream. So we did it. We're doing it.
Thank you, Jasmine!
That is great.
Yeah,
That's
it is moving.
Super special.
You know, the kids that you instruct and now doing
Sure.
such big things, it's awesome. All right, well, students lined one New York street to take an important test. Up next, the controversy surrounding one of the city's most successful high schools.
Plus, questions after a healthy teenage girl is suddenly paralyzed after Christmas.
I'm Monica Morales in the Bronx. Remember Betty? She's a phenomenal woman. She has been taking care of over 15 foster children her life. She needed repairs. We have a big surprise for her. You don't want to miss this. We're making it happen, and it is Follow-Up Friday. Make sure to watch after the break.
Well, there was plenty of interest around the hiring of new Giants coach Joe Judge, but it's also raising questions about diversity in the NFL at the highest levels.
Yeah, Pick 7's Henry Rossoff has been digging into the NFL to see if it's ignoring its own rules and the bigger issue of who's leading high-profile organizations. Henry.
And Corey, what we're talking about here is called the NFL's Rooney Rule. Simply put, it says if NFL teams have to interview a candidate of color during the process of hiring a new head coach. But this offseason, most teams looking for a coach, including the Giants, seem to have zeroed in immediately on only white candidates.
I do not take lightly the position I'm in and the people, the city, and the region that I represent.
The former wide receivers coach from the New England Patriots, Joe Judge, is 38 years old and benefited from being taken under the wing of legendary coach Bill Belichick. Judge has never been a head coach at any level until yesterday, and it's raising questions.
I'm just going to say it because nobody else, most people won't. This don't happen for black folk. I mean, but, a wide receivers coach.